Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and it looks like we just got a little bit of information from Nintendo about E3 2018, so let's see what we got. Join us during E3 2018 for tournament coverage, gameplay with Treehouse Live, and a video presentation focusing on Nintendo Switch games coming this year, including Super Smash Bros. E3.nintendo.com. Now, I feel like they're going to do the same thing for Super Smash Bros. Switch as they did with SSB4, and that is releasing it just before the new Pokemon game. So I'm guessing that's why we see this, Super Smash Bros. That's the headliner, that's the big information that we have, and that's also the breakdown, including the recently announced Super Smash Bros. Game. But then the Pokemon game might be a month or two after, and I think you just put all the hype on Smash Bros. They even have the Invitational, so it's very similar to what we had going on with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Let's go and break down the schedule and see what this means for Pokemon. Splatoon 2 World Championship. Opening rounds on June 11 from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's actually going to be a little before E3 for the, not qualifier. The qualifiers already took place. So the opening rounds to actually get to the finals are going to be the day before. If you just can't hold the hype, if you just need something to happen, you can go and tune in. Nintendo's probably going to be streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. So that's pretty exciting. And then finals on June 12th. After those finals conclude, we're going to get right into Super Smash Bros. Switch Invitational. This is going to be the analysis. This is going to be the breakdown. This is going to try to figure out how it feels. Are we going to get closer to Super Smash Bros. Melee? Is this just going to be a revamp SSB4? I don't even know what's going to happen, but here's the big one, guys. Video presentation. Get a look at Nintendo Switch titles, including the recently announced Super Smash Bros. Game starts at 9 a.m. Now, this is where things are getting interesting, the Switch titles for 2018. Now, Pokemon Switch, in my heart, from everything we've seen, they're saying 2018 or later, which means 2018. This game is looking, Nintendo wants it, everything about the Pokemon Switch game is 2018. So we're either, this is where actually things might get a little sketchy. Since we haven't gotten a Pokemon Direct trailer, teaser, announcement, or anything until this time, I'm not saying that means it's 2019, but I think they're saving that for E3. They're keeping us on our toes. That at E3, they're either saying 2019, Pokemon Switch, more information soon, or Pokemon Switch, Holiday 2018, here's your trailer, here's your reveal, here's everything you need to know about the greatest Pokemon game that will ever be launched. Well, that last little bit was my personal flair, but I have a lot of hopes for the Nintendo Switch game. Starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time, June 12th. So that's it, guys. At the very latest, they can't not give us Nintendo Switch information. So it's April 26th right now. That means we have a month and 2 weeks or so. It's not that bad. You have 6.5 weeks, guys. We can survive that long, and that's if there's not already a Nintendo Direct in store. This is also something interesting. We know about the Super Smash Bros. Game, so that's why it is on the announcement right here. I mean, look at this. Get a look at Nintendo Switch games, including Super Smash Bros. That's where they're pouring everything into. However, Nintendo does separate from Game Freak. So this is Nintendo's baby. This is their, let's use it to blow up some Nintendo Switch console sales. But for Game Freak, they might release it tomorrow. They might release some information in May or something and then transition it into E3. But that's what I like about this video presentation, because it's going to show us a lot of things that we have seen in the past, just kind of leading up into gameplay footage. And then there's the Treehouse, guys. As we saw with Pokémon Sun and Moon, Nintendo Treehouse Live, 3 days of Nintendo Switch gameplay with Nintendo Treehouse members and developers. Starts with the recently announced Super Smash Bros. Game right after the video presentation. So, I mean, this is going to be packed, guys. 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to get all those trailers. Then the first thing we are getting, the headliner, is Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, which tells me that the game information for Pokemon Switch is going to be on the 13th. That they're going to be doing a lot of smaller games. They're just going to be doing their fun little treehouse stuff on the 12th, focusing on Super Smash Bros. And then Metroid Prime maybe later in the day, but I feel like Pokemon is going to get its own day. That's going to be the 13th or the 14th once we get all over this Super Smash Bros. Hype. And then actually, since it's after the Splatoon 2 World Championship for Super Smash Bros., we're seeing on Treehouse first, and then by the time Treehouse concludes, it's going to be into the Invitational. So I'm feeling that Metroid Prime and Pokemon might share the same day, and then we're going to get all of the other reveals, all of the other indie games, maybe even big announcements like, what if Mario Maker's for 2019? Holy crap, I'm in on that. I can't wait to see. This is going to be the craziest E3. this is going to be the craziest Nintendo E3 that we have ever seen. And to kind of like fill in all the blanks and all the extra information about Pokemon Switch and stuff, let's go and actually see how the past E3s have looked. Alright, so let's kick it off with what happened last year featuring Pokemon. Now, this is the Nintendo E3 Spotlight, which is pretty much what I'm expecting from, like, this announcement that we already know about Nintendo. So, 9 a.m., going to kick it off. Actually, that's not super early, but just going to kick it off, showing up what's going to happen on the Nintendo Switch. And this was actually really crazy, because they just started sprinkling in Pokemon. And I think we were mostly just waiting for more Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon news. That's how I really felt about it, because we got that, we didn't even get a trailer, we just got a quick reveal, like, we waited all the way till June, so it was so long without an announcement, and then we just got to see the different forums. It's like, okay, that's it. And that was actually like the week before E3, so it's like, oh, okay, they're just going to announce it, and then they're going to give us a ton of information for E3. And it's like, okay, Pokkén Tournament. So Pokkén Tournament DX on Nintendo Switch. That's pretty hype. That's some pretty cool stuff. But then, Pokemon Nintendo Switch is in development for 2018. No one was expecting that, and that's kind of like what brought it in. So they just got dropped a slot. Like, we all got upset. We're like, where's the Pokemon news? Not everyone's a huge Pokkén Tournament fan. And then it's like, all right, we hope you enjoy for the Nintendo Switch Pokemon game. And then the rest of it is actually pretty just cool. We got to see all these other reveals. And I think it's also going to be like a similar spotlight. Because the thing that's been happening is that while the 3DS is still being developed for Nintendo, Game Freak has already stated that they are not making any more main series Pokemon games on the Nintendo 3DS. So that means we don't get the spotlight anymore. There's no other precedent. The last time we had a new generation to have a big feature for a Pokemon game was 2016, and that's where the Nintendo Treehouse took over. So this is why I'm a little hopeful. Like, we have mixed. We have both parts of this come together. So we already had a lot of Pokemon Sun and Moon information up to this point, and a lot of the Treehouse was just recapping that. Like, look at, we had the starter trailer, which was recent at that time. We had Junichi Masuda and Omori talking about the games. That was, like, this was just the most pure, raw anticipation. I think they already made the announcement that they were going to have the first live gameplay of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and they didn't do this before. Not with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, not with Pokemon X and Y. This was the first time that for a new Pokemon game, they were doing a live demo at E3 instead of a scripted trailer. So that took things to the next level, and we got to see the gameplay. We got to wait in anticipation as random encounters showed us and revealed us new Pokemon, and that was so cool. But here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to give the Pokemon Nintendo Switch game as much of a feature as this. It's weird to say because of all the hype around Pokemon Nintendo Switch right now, but look at the schedule. Nintendo, Game Freak, they've been very quiet about Pokemon anyways, and it looks like they're going to put it all in the Super Smash Bros. Game, and this was for the Nintendo 3DS. Now, the 3DS, this was the biggest game for 3DS. This was your last hurrah, you get it now, you get it never, big Pokemon game, sending off the 3DS in style effectively, so that's why it got such a big feature. It got all this Treehouse coverage alongside all these other Nintendo Switch games, because we were still hyped for Breath of the Wild. There was still, I think this is when Mario Odyssey was getting a little bit more information, if not revealed at E3. Can't quite remember, because 2016 was a long ways away when it comes to like Nintendo Switch games and stuff, since Nintendo Switch came out in 2017. So everything was so far away, and they were able to put the spotlight on the Pokemon. But now with Super Smash Bros., it's going to be a bit different. There's our new boy right there. There's our young goose. And this actually was a pretty long demo. I think it was like 45, 50 minutes of Pokemon, and then we went into Breath of the Wild. And this was another one that was really exciting. So we actually had like Breath of the Wild gameplay, a functioning Breath of the Wild demo, and I was all over this. I wanted to see how it worked, and this made me want to play the game. This made me want to go out and explore the world, because look how large it is. Look how cool the fighting is. He picked up a pot, or a pot lid, you know, he just like took the cooking pot lid and just started bashing faces in with it. That was pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to be able to get away with the same thing. Have a lot of Super Smash Bros. Leading the pack, and then just be like, at some point, Nintendo Treehouse still has time for Pokemon. Get ready to enjoy. And I think they also did a lot of other demos. Like, a lot of people were just getting like the same 30-minute run in Breath of the Wild and showing off what they could. So I'm still really excited. I think this does hint that, or this does show that we're getting something for Pokemon Switch at E3. It can fit in the schedule, and there's a lot of build up there. So I'm really excited by that. Tell me what you guys think down below. Do you think, like, I don't think anyone, like, it's impossible to think we can't get something about Pokemon Switch at E3. Like, that just like, that's it, you know. A lot of people, we were really caught off guard by the Super Smash Bros. Announcement that we were all expecting, you know, Super Smash Bros. That's come to Nintendo Switch, especially with the massive success and hype from the Nintendo Switch Pokemon game. You know, Pokemon, they were hesitant. They didn't even think that they were going to be, you know, doing much on Nintendo Switch or eventually transitioning over to a console, but it ended up happening with Game Freak. So this is like the major adoption right here. And now we also have the new Metroid game. So this is why it's so big. Like the last 2 years of E3, you know, last 2 years. 2016 was very hype. 2017 just sealed the hype, and now 2018, it's going to give us the future as well. That we could get even more. I want to see that Mario Maker. We already got our Super Smash Bros. So everything's loaded right now, and these games should last a long time. People are still playing Super Smash Bros. 4, so this Super Smash Bros. Game, that's like years of life on Nintendo Switch if it's good. The Pokemon game, depending on how they handle the hacking, that's going to have longevity. Like the Pokemon game, if there's no hacking, no reason it lasts less than a year. Like, if it lasts less than a year, that is a complete failure on Game Freak's part, unless hacking comes into play. And then by then, you know, Mario Maker Holiday 2019 and whatever other games, like there could be a new IP that blows us out of the water. There could be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, a sequel to Mario Odyssey, and then we still have another Pokemon game. I want Pokemon Battle Revolution Nintendo Switch. I want Pokemon Stadium 3 or whatever, you know. I want that next insane Pokemon battle arena, and that's going to be really good for a competitive scene. So I feel like we have enough to go on to until like 2020 to keep the hype alive on Nintendo Switch. That's why I'm super excited for what this means for Pokemon. So you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.